I can move through the wall.
I tried to make one of those OK Cupids.
My daughter, she fell in love with a bird.
Playing multiple different characters in a setting like this is one of the oldest parts of my identity as a person. Any facility I have at improv or sketch comedy is related to my ability to do goofy voices running a game of D&D. The Unsleeping City was mashing up D&D tropes with New York specifics. And one of the creative things that we decided was we wanted to go to like a darker, a little bit more adult place. Like magic garbage cans cursing people out.
You're just a trash can.
You're just a trash
piece of shit.
Clock gnomes in Grand Central Station.
Hello there.
Living in New York, it is magic. Even when you are being ground into the dirt, but is also funny because there's something inherently unfantastical about New York. So to make it a fantasy setting, you know, hey, I'm questing here, feels like, yeah, that hits a comedic button for me.
Let's play some D&D?
Yeah. Spicy D&D.
Hell yeah, some spicy D&D.
So a timeline for a season of Dimension 20 starts with me coming up with pitches for what the concept of that season is going to be. And as soon as possible, we do character creation with the cast members. After character creation, we'll do a cast cohesion, which is just a sort of session zero, no cameras rolling, where the players play their characters to kind of get in the vibe, so that the first time they're voicing these characters, they're not here at the table. And then it's months and months of editing.
So if the rats are doing magical damage, can I hit someone with a rat?
You wrap a rat around your fist?
Can I wrap a rat around my fist?
out of a rat.
Biggest challenges with Dimension 20 come from time management. That's the thing that separates it the most from a home game. I have a lot of practice running D&D. I do not have a lot of practice where we have time restrictions on episode length and getting to story points that we need to get to in a certain order.
If you want to give me
a
sleight of hand to do some rat chucks, we can see about that.
And doing that without railroading players or ignoring their choices is really challenging. So what ends up happening is, instead of cutting short the decision of a PC, I usually end up cutting short my own ideas. We are going to take a pause.
You're kidding.
Starting at third level, in Unsleeping City, we had 5 different spellcasters, and then Emily multi-classed, so we had 6, which means that concentration checks were a big part of this season. I was like mapping my initiative out a lot more clearly. That is stuff that honestly I could bring to my home games, but it's never come out because home games are more relaxed and more chill. It's not a big deal if you like crack open a rule book in a home game and take a minute to like look something up. It's a big deal when there's a whole crew and cameras are rolling.
Do you currently have less than 100 hit points? You watch Pete's life leave his body as he falls to the ground dead.
Death is wild. It sucks to lose a character, but in order for choices to matter, there has to be the threat of death. A lot of it has to do with tone. Like if you look at the Wall Street battle, it's vampires, it's very scary. I've set up the villain to be this really no-joke character. There's things you do that I think as a DM communicate to your players like, hey, death is a very real prospect here.
Oh my God!
Gorgug is dead.
With that battle with Kristen and Gorgug in the first season, they were fighting these little corn people, and they were being dumb. They were not fighting well.
What is happening? They all called them corn cuties.
You may have been around because you're like, hey, we're comedians, this is the silly battle. Well, it wasn't the silly battle. It was a very real combat encounter. To have both those characters be dead permanently in the first battle didn't feel right, but you are gonna pay for this by losing 2 NPCs that you like.
The price must be paid.
Bam! Gorgug and Kristen, you come back to life.
What the?
I was very ready for a character to die in the Unsleeping City. I thought someone would die in the Wall Street fight, and they played the hell out of it. We're making 20 to 30 hours of content. What that means is a season arc for all these characters. You have 8 different battles. You can cater to certain characters in certain ways to help them realize their character concept. If as a dungeon master, you're constantly in this space of like, everyone's gotta share equal spotlight all at the same time, I think you actually do a little bit of a disservice to your players.
Sophia.
Yes!
Pete.
I run over to Priya.
That being said, at the art show at the Burning Building, the main villain is Sophia Lee's nemesis, Isabella Infierno. It's a burning building and Ricky's our New York firefighter. And it's set at Priya's art show, which is a story culmination for Allie's character, Pete. So I think in all of those, you're highlighting multiple different things.
Isabella Infierno is destroyed.
More like Isabella Outfierno. What'd you say?
This show is a dream come true. The fans for the show are the nicest and coolest people in the world. The fan art that's made for this constantly staggers me on an emotional level. This game at this table is like no different from anyone's game at their table in terms of our love and passion for this dorky hobby.
That's been the Unsleeping City. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll catch you in season 3. Take care.
I just want everyone to know that I get being the dungeon master for your job is the goofy in the world. And while I have pride in the work that I do, if you and me were in the same room and you were like, what the dude? I would be like, I know, dude, it's crazy. It is a stroke of good fortune that no human being can be said to deserve. Thank you.